Hi folks, this is Lindsay back off of her SM Global Audition experience. This is my second time recording this video because the first time I talked for like 20 minutes and it was just too much. So I'm going to try to just pare this down to the bare essentials. So first thing is I'm just going to go over the process, like the process that every auditionee went through. It was exactly the same for everybody as far as I was aware. And then I'll give some like tips or like more personal things after, my personal experiences and my personal thoughts after. So, process goes like this. You arrive at the venue. I was told to come at 6 p.m. I showed up at like 4:15 because I figured there's going to be a line, and there was a line. But they didn't actually check that I was me. I didn't need to provide ID or anything. So I think the time is less. You have to come at this time, and more like they're trying to stagger, right? So I came about 2 hours early. I think that's probably the best thing to do. So I came, I got in line. There's a big line when you arrive, and that's everybody lining up to get their audition number, which you stick right here, and their application form, which is a half sheet of paper. And they admit people in groups of 20 because that is how you will audition, in groups of 20. So you're waiting in line, and it moves pretty slowly because once the one group of 20 leaves, then the next group goes in to get their stuff. So you're waiting in line, you get inside the room, they give you your sticker, they give you your application sheet, you go into a big holding room. In my case, it was a big auditorium, like sort of a bleacher setup. And so all the people in my group of 20 all had to sit together, just in the numerical order based on our little, based on our number. And then everybody has to fill out the piece of paper. They do not provide you with pens, and so I brought this because I think I saw in another video that you need to bring your own pens. I brought a box of pens that I stole from my job, and I passed them out to a couple people, and so we all got it filled out. And they want like basics: age, sex, height and weight, country you're from, what your address is, how you heard about the audition, what you're auditioning for. There were 5 categories at this audition, which is singer, model, actor, dancer, lyric composer. If you're a composer or a lyricist, they just want you to give them your materials, which is like some music or that you wrote, and the same form. So you have to wait in line, you get the form, you submit your stuff to them, and then you get to leave. So it's a very short one. But everybody else, the other 4, have to stay in the auditorium after. So what else did they want? Oh, they want your grade in school and what school you go to, because they're mostly auditioning teenagers. So if you're 23 like me, a little awkward, but that's okay. They also have experience in your field. That usually means that they want an award. Like, have you won any awards in any competitions or anything like that? They're not interested in like, I taught dance at a summer camp. And so that's kind of what's on the form. And then you turn in the form once your group is called, and this can take a while. I think we were waiting for maybe 2 hours in there. So it's a pretty long, slow process, but they have like promotional material and like music videos playing, so you have something to watch. So after that waiting period is over, your group of 20 gets called up, they line you up, and then they walk you right to the audition room where they give you a little lecture about what's going to happen inside the audition room, and then you go. So not a lot of time to warm up, right? You just line up and then you proceed to the audition room. You get a rundown of what's going to happen. And what is going to happen is that your group of 20 will be into groups of 10. I was in the second half, so we went in, we sat down in a row of chairs. The first half went and they stood on a black line, and they looked at the camera, and the camera is run by 2 people. One person's actually manning the camera, the other person is holding all your application sheets and kind of going through them to identify which role you're auditioning for. If you're auditioning for singer or actor, you are in the sort of first round. So like each half of your group auditions in 2 rounds, because the singers and actors have to audition by themselves, right? So the camera focuses on one person at a time, and they'll either speak their monologue or sing their bit. And once they go through all of that, they ask all the singers and actors to leave, and then they have the models and dancers do their part with a music that they select. And I believe they do this together, although in our group we had so few models and so few actors, or so few dancers, that the model was in the first half and he went by himself. And then in the second group was me and one other guy, and we were both dancers, so we just danced. But I think if the models and dancers are together, then you will, like, one person will be doing the catwalk and the person next to them will be dancing, and I think that's just how that works. Then after that, that's the first half of the group. They go, and the second group of 10 will go up, and again, singers and actors one by one, they leave, dancers and models together, I think to the same music. I'm assuming to the same music. So there is the black line that you stand behind, and there's an X in front of it, and that is where the models are supposed to walk to stop and like show their pose, and then they walk away. Dancers should not go in front of that black X. Like, you should not cross in front of it, because then the camera can't get a good view of you. And I know this because the person who was dancing with me kept going in front of it, and the woman behind the camera was like, she couldn't say anything, but she was pushing him like physically back as much as she could. And I stayed back, so points to me. Anyway, but then after that's done, then you just leave. There was no one to like debrief, you didn't need to do anything else. I've heard that if you don't get stopped to asked to take more pictures, you don't get the audition, but I think that's not for these global casting calls, because it just didn't seem like that was something that they were doing, because the two people manning the camera, I think, were just there to get the process going. I don't think they were actual judges. It seemed like the event was mostly run by volunteers who were just there to facilitate the process, and that they didn't have much authority. I don't think they had like a big casting director here for this audition. It looked like just sort of the lower level employees who were just there to guide you around, to give you the sticker, to film you, get your application form, and then you go home. And then I think they send all that material to somebody who will actually analyze it later. That was the impression I got. My personal thoughts is that, well, the big thing for me is that there is no warm-up room. I almost stopped and talked about that, but there is no warm-up room. You wait in this big holding area while you fill out your form, and then you proceed immediately from the holding area to your audition room, and you wait, maybe you wait outside the audition room for like 5 minutes, because they're trying to keep it snappy for the people who are manning the camera. So you're waiting there, the other group will file out, you file immediately in. There is no time set aside for you to go to a room and warm up. You can't warm up your voice, you can't warm up your body, you can't like practice unless you make time for yourself in that big holding pen area. So that's my number one piece of advice after bring a pen or 20, is warm yourself up when you see, like, not the group before you, but that second group before you. Go, give yourself 5 minutes, go out, do your vocal warm-up, do your physical warm-up, do like whatever your acting technique is, like just do it, so that you have some preparation before you go in. For me, it was funny because I was auditioning in Hong Kong, and I thought, Hong Kong's a fairly diverse city. You know, there's lots of people from lots of different countries. I was the only white girl that I saw all day, and I was like, whoops! So I felt a little out of place, also because I was older, but like, I've done it now. I've auditioned for SM Entertainment. I don't think that anything's gonna happen, because it seemed pretty obvious that they're looking for like the next idol group and not so much like a backup dancer, which was sort of what I was thinking. It's all good. So if you want to do it, if you've signed up already, that's kind of what you're in for. It's a lot of waiting. So take care of yourself and warm yourself up so that you don't go in cold.